Hello everyone, and today I will show you how to make this Hyperpop 808 bass kick thing. Alright, so first let's start out with doing a pitch modulation. So I'm just going to grab LFO1, drag it onto this pitch, and change it to around 24, so about 2 octaves. Then I'm just going to take this over and shorten that down. And then change the tempo to be about like 1/8 or whatever. It makes a huge difference if it's slow or fast, so it won't be as punchy if it's too slow. And also change this over to envelope mode so it does it only once. And as you can see, it's still probably too slow because you can hear the sweep a lot clearer. So let's just add another point and drag it over so it happens faster. That sounds a bit better. It needs to be a little bit longer now. All right, that sounds quite a bit better. And I'm just gonna go ahead and lower the octave. You can either do this with your keyboard or in the synth, doesn't really matter. All right, so that's kind of like the very most basic 808 you could ever make. But let's add this, let's add some spice to it. All right, so what I really like to do is, first of all, we need compression. It really makes it punchier, even with just a basic sine wave. And let's change this to this slightly less sine wave. So we get some more distortion in there. All right, so that's a pretty good start. And then let's add some distortion. But I'm gonna use the sine fold because it sounds really weird, and just lower the mix because it is very intense distortion. And it creates like this weird zappy noise. And you can lower that by changing the drive, which does help. And then it sounds more distorted and buzzy, less of a weird squelchy sound. Something I really like is chorus on your 808-ish kind of kick because it creates like this really full, wet sounding kick, which I think is very interesting. And then we can obviously change the amount of voices and other settings like feedback, mix, etc. Let's add a bit more of the highs back. I actually do quite like it when it's fully on. So let's do that. But to take some of the high tones out of it, I'm going to use a filter. And we can just use the standard low pass filter. I might lower the resonance a bit. And so this is a more spicy hyper pop kind of kick. You can automate the envelope to shorten the kick out this way, which is not a bad way to do it. I think that's how a lot of people would do kicks. Personally, I generally just don't do it that way and I just keep it on all the way and then work with it like that. It just depends on, what you want to do with the track. Something you also hear in Hyperpop is like a background kind of 808-ish kick that sounds very soft. And just to extend on that, if you just add reverb and set the mix 100%, so you're only getting the wet signal, lower the time really short, and make the size smaller, you'll get this nice background pulsating, almost kick-like thing. used as like a pluck or as a soft part instead of using the full 808. But I'm just going to lower the mix and have a little bit of reverb in it. It's a bit weird to have reverb on kicks, but I think it does sound pretty cool. It just fills out the kick and kind of bass a little bit more. And I think that sounds good. So anyway, if you like this video, please subscribe and there will be more.